What's going on, guys? It's Spurs. I want to talk to you today about first-time open carriers or first-time concealed carriers carrying a firearm in general. There's some tips and strategies that I wanted to present. Now, when you are a first-time gun buyer or owner, which in recent months we've seen a spike in first-time gun buyers and just buying guns in general, and you maybe have seeked out the thought of, oh, you know what, maybe I want to carry a gun, whether that be open or concealed, it doesn't really matter in this video. What you first want to do, if you're just a first-time gun owner, say you buy a pistol for protection, the first thing you probably want to do is actually get maybe used to that gun and maybe taking it apart. So maybe look up some disassembly videos, maybe some cleaning videos, get used to the parts and what they do, kind of research, okay, this lever's for this, you know, the rack to slide for that, the barrel does, you know, this one, you know, whatever. You want to look up the specifics of your gun and how to operate it, magazine release, and such, before you even do anything with it. You want to know your gun pretty well before you even get to operating it. You want to know what it does before you get into operating the gun. It's kind of like, you know, like an operating system like Windows, okay? You just say you've never even seen Windows before. You might want to read up on it a little bit before you start going and clicking on things, because before you know it, you're going to screw it up. But you know, that's where I would start with that. Secondly, if you're looking to actually start carrying, which I encourage everyone that owns a firearm to do, you want to start from a position of doing a lot of dry fire practice at home, in my opinion. And what that is, you know, I'm going to have to clear this gun here. What that is taking your firearm and dry firing. And what that means is taking it and, you know, getting used to doing the motions of what your firearm is intended to do, which is keep you safe. And whether that means up front, the first time, a couple times you do it, you're going to be, you know, missing holster or whatever. That's why you do it with dry fire. Okay. What I suggest is you rack the chamber after you've confirmed that there's nothing in the chamber. You rack the chamber so that you can test, see if you even are going to pull the trigger in certain situations. You know, if you get in a situation where you actually have to, you know, get your gun out, am I going to, you know, pull the trigger? Am I going to, you know, accidentally do that when I'm at the range, you know, practicing? Before you even get out, you want to get used to that. If you wear a jacket, like I have a jacket on today, and you know, recently I have not trained with this. It's getting in the winter season. I haven't gone out to the range and practiced with having some sort of a jacket on, or a fleece or whatever. You have to practice with getting your gun out and on target and such, you know, with having your fleece on, your jacket on, whatever you have on. You should practice in those situations. And the easiest way to do that is actually at home. Dry fire, which means there's nothing in the chamber. You know, dry fire with that weapon and, you know, just get used to it, which I haven't done, and, you know, shame on me, whatever. But, you know, I'm fluid with my weapons to the point where I might be able to get away with a little bit more than, you know, someone who's just getting into firearms. And you should always be up to date, you know, kind of like keeping your skills fresh, so to speak, by, you know, working at your home. Before I even, you know, load my weapon, what I'll do is I'll take it out like I normally would, bring it up, put it on something, like behind the camera is a cigar humidor. You know, I'll do that. I'll take it out, put it on target, right? And I'll bring it back, and I'll load the weapon. I'll check it's in there, and then I'll put it away. If I can get it in the holster. I'll put it away, and I'm ready to go for the day. And I try to do that, you know, before, you know, every time I go out. You know, that's something I do, you know? Okay, I'm ready to go. I have good sight picture and everything. I'm ready to go. And you can do that multiple times on a dry fire without even being out on range, without shooting the gun. And you're getting used to seeing the sights, aligning the sights, getting the sights on target. And then from there you can go to the range and you can work on your craft there by actually firing the gun, which is, you know, bringing the gun up and firing it and getting used to recoil and keeping it on target. And that's, you know, that's a whole nother, you know, step in your progression into being somewhat proficient with your firearm. You know, even just, you know, unholstering it. I've seen people say, you know, just do this. Just do step 1. Okay? Then just do step 2. Yeah? Okay? Which, again, I need to practice with my jacket. You know, do it in steps, do it whatever, you know, but also, you know, get used to, you know, not coming up and having your finger on the trigger, which will depress it, and it will cause it to go off. You know, if you can do that 100 times, then I'd say you're pretty safe to go and practice at the range. But you don't want to go to the range willy-nilly, never using a gun before, and all of a sudden you're trying to do things in a quick manner, and now you're gonna either shoot your foot, you're gonna come up and, you know, shoot straight out of the table, you know, whatever you're doing. You know, you want to make sure that you're progressing into just having a gun for the first time, or just carrying a gun for the first time for that matter. If you're used to shooting a gun and you go to the range with your gun and now you're going to start carrying it, it's a whole other animal. If you've never carried a gun before, you should, you know, just because you've shot a gun does not mean that you're used to holstering a gun and unholstering and that whole situation. So what I would say is practice dry firing. A lot of people won't wear their gun around their house. That's a whole other thing. Home defense. Say you buy your gun for a home defense. You should holster your gun when you get home from work or get home from the store, or say, just keep it on. Say you just went for home defense. So you get to the house for whatever reason, go holster your gun. Go put it in a holster, put it on yourself. And there's a reason for that. A lot of people say, okay, I want a gun for home defense. Alright, well, all of a sudden, now there's an intruder coming in. I have to go up to the safe, honey, and get my gun. No, you should actually be carrying your gun on you if you actually want to protect your family. If you want to, you know, use that for protection, that's what you want to do. You want to be ready for whatever is going to be a bad situation. And have your gun holstered. There's a lot of people that, oh, they're going to have to go get their gun. I was just at somebody's house the other day. I was out jogging, I stopped by their house, and, you know, I knocked on the door. Maybe 2 minutes go by, and they come up to the door, and they had a gun in their hand. And this was their home defense. They don't carry the gun around the house. They get the gun when there's a situation, but they're not ready for the situation where someone breaks down their door, or, you know, something happens where it's a, you know, a few second situation versus, oh yeah, let me go get my gun. And then you go into the bed, pick up your pillow, and get your gun. You have to be ready for every situation if you want to protect your family. You have to practice, be proficient, and be ready for situations that might arise. Is there a chance it might happen where someone's going to bust down your door and freaking 7 o'clock at night? Or someone's going to all of a sudden, you know, crash through your windows at 9 o'clock at night? Yeah, it's probably a slim chance it's going to happen. But when it happens, I'm going to shoot the motherfucker in the face, okay? Once I verify that it is a threat and not some kind of drunk, you know, family member. You know, that's what you have to be ready for. And that's number 2 is verify the threat in your defense. You don't want to just be shooting things willy-nilly. You want to actually be verifying what you're shooting. That's a whole other video. But getting used to weapons and guns and such, take it slow. If you know of a gun store that you frequent, or where you bought the gun, there's probably someone there who's willing to help you. If you go to the gun range, I know myself, I'm willing to help people if they ask. You know, if I'm knowledgeable of a situation, I'll go ahead and give some pointers and be like, hey, you know, my experience, this is what I've come across, this is how I've done it, I've seen other people do this, you know, or if I know of someone else who has better knowledge of a situation, I'll be like, hey, you know, I want to refer you to whoever that I know that's, you know, give them a call or whatever, or here's their email address, and, you know, talk to them. You know, sorry my video cut off. But not everyone's an expert. I'm not an expert. No one's an expert, so to speak. If someone calls themselves an expert, I would actually point you away from that person. Because you know what? All of us, you know, no one knows everything. So if someone's coming off that way, they might be giving you some sort of brash information, or some sort of, you know, puffing of the chest information, like they know everything. When in reality, not everyone knows everything. So I would go to someone who's humble in themselves and their skills, and who's willing to talk to you about, you know, what they are, you know, about in regards to the guns, you know, what guns are about, how you do it, how you carry it, This is what I've seen from my experience. You know, stuff like that is what I would recommend. And like I said, don't be afraid to go to a gun store, go to a range, kind of like, you know, if you kind of feel out, you say, oh, this guy seems alright, you know, hey, you know, I was curious, you know, I'm carrying my gun like this, what's another way to carry my gun? I'm not really sure, you know, if I carry it this way or that way or here or there, you know. There's all kinds of questions you can ask. There's plenty of people out there willing and ready, you know, to answer your questions and help you out in your experience with carrying a gun, as I know I am. So if you guys have any questions, go ahead and PM me, so put it in the comments down below. If you have your ways of, you know, carrying a gun or your first time gun carrier or whatever, put your comments down there. And video responses are always welcome. Until next time, later.